Hi, welcome back to my channel. This is Psychic Medium Raymond Guzman, and it's been a while since I've done an actual face-to-face on-camera psychic reading or any horoscope, so I am so amazingly happy to be back on camera and to do some readings. I'll try to do a lot on camera as far as the celebrity psychic readings. So be sure to check that out. If you're newly tuning into my channel, please go ahead and hit the red subscribe button on the bottom right hand corner, so that way you can be notified of any future videos that I do publish. That being said and done, let's go ahead and get into the actual reading. Today I'm going to be doing a celebrity psychic reading on Brandy Norwood. Some of you may know her as Moesha, when she had that show in the early 90s, mid-90s, and was very popular. She also had a lot of hit singles, like That Boy Is Mine, and then she collaborated with a lot of different people. She is the sister of Ray J, so she is, an actress, a model. She's been in different, TV shows, like I said, and now she is, I believe, on Star, on that show Star on Fox. So, yeah, she seems to be coming back. But as far as what I see for Brandy, I'm going to give you what I see for the remaining of this year going into next year. Now, a lot of you may be wondering what I'm doing when I look down, but I'm actually looking at her picture because I like to focus on her energy. So I'm looking at her photograph here and basically just going off of that energy. So when I tune into Brandy, I get that she's gone through a lot. I think outside of the spotlight, outside of the cameras, she really hasn't opened up herself, so a lot of people will know exactly to what extent and magnitude that she's been going through. But there's a lot of different things. First of all, I get that she was someone who was like a child prodigy, was very much into acting at a very young age. This is obvious that she had that success with Moesha and other acting shows that she would have been on, other sitcoms and whatnot. So she's someone who was put through a lot as a child and grew up pretty fast. I feel like her energy, almost like she lost a lot of her innocence in childhood. And this tends to be very prevalent, especially with a lot of childhood actors and actresses. They tend to lose that kind of innocence being around a lot of the Hollywood people, etc. So, and there's nothing wrong being around the Hollywood people, but what I'm saying is that a lot of times they're exposed to certain situations because there's a lot of different things that go on in Hollywood. So I just wanted to kind of explain and go a little bit further on that part. For the most part, though, I feel like she has gone through some mental and physical depression and just a lot of different things at the physical level as well as the soul level. And I won't get into too much detail because I do respect a lot of these celebrities, well, all of the celebrities that I read that are living. I do respect their privacy. So when I say depression, I feel like she's had a lot of problems in her love life and trying to trust men and trust people in general. They've tried to take advantage of her, and it's left her very vulnerable to a certain extent. But she's not anyone's fool. She's very smart, very smart, and she's seen her brother go through a lot as well. And so there's this almost like he's very protective of her, I get, but the relationship between the two, it's pretty intense. I feel like they do butt heads. They do get along at certain times, but there's just a lot of toxicity in their brother and sister type of relationship. But ultimately, at the end of the day, they are blood relatives, and so they would support each other. But I feel like Brandy has, I keep referring to her as Moesha because I used to watch that show, but Brandy herself, she is someone who had a lot of success in the music industry. And to a certain point, I feel like when she, had reached a certain level of success, there was still some more pressure that would have been placed upon her, and the record company as well as other people would have probably wanted to put a lot of pressure on her to keep producing and being at the top of her game. But then there came a lot of new artists like Britney Spears, like Christina Aguilera, and just a lot of different people that kind of took over the pop and R&B, and it kind of, Brandy lost her spot in many ways. She has had some hits since then, but in her career itself, I see that there's like a lot that is being offered to her now. It's like people still have that love and for Brandy, and that appreciation for her artistry and who she is as a person. She's very sweet, very down to earth, but I do feel like she will defend herself and defend her own. She's very much mama bear when it comes to her child and to other people that, you know, that are important to her. So I do get that that is something that's very special to Brandy, and that makes her uniquely herself. But at the same time, I do feel like she's evolving, and so with the music company, I see a lot of struggles, but I do see a lot of offers. But there's struggles in the fact that she may not have the same success or the same fans that followed her. A lot of these people have gotten older. A lot of the fan base has moved on to new artists, and so there's this pressure on her. I do feel like she's still going to produce music, and she's working on an album. At least she wants to, you know, get that, and that's what I'm getting from Spirit. But the fact of the matter is, we have to still see if she's going to be having that success, and when she will come back. It's kind of hard to tell when she will come back. There's a lot of other directions that she's going into, like acting, and I kind of feel like she feels like, it almost feels like from Spirit and from what I'm getting from my guides, is that she really does love acting a lot more than music. She loves music and it'll always be a part of her, but she will have more success, I see, in acting than being in the music industry. It's kind of like she doesn't want to do the touring, doesn't want to do all of that, but at the same time there's pressure from fans and people that still believe in her, that they want her to come back onto the scene. But I see right now from Spirit that there are a lot of things that are being offered to her as far as opportunities over the next 2 to 3 years. It's going to depend again on herself. I also feel like there was a lot of fighting that was going on with her and other people. There was a lot of disagreements, and this could have been more in her personal life as well, like some challenges that she has been facing with family members and just people in general, her friends. And there's been a lot of fallout, she's gone through like a spiritual awakening in an essence, and her soul has really come to a point where she's kind of ascended to the next level on her spiritual path. So she is a very spiritual person. I feel like she's turned to her faith a lot, and so there's a lot of her, you know, trying to really understand why people are so rude and so mean and so evil in the world. But ultimately, I do see her that she is now in a better place than she has been the last 5 to 6 years. It's been an uphill battle for her, but she always will smile to the camera and put a good, not so much she's faking, but just, you know, kind of give the people what they want. So again, she is an actress, so you have to keep that in mind. But I do get that she is now getting into a point where a lot of the tension and a lot of the problems that would have been surrounding her are now kind of easing up, and so she's feeling a lot more breath and a lot more positivity. There's a lot of good energy that is going to be following her. I feel like her life is going to be coming together in many areas in the professional area of her life, but in her relationships and her love life, there's still this pain that she carries, and a lot of insecurities around having a relationship. So anyone that she would be with now, or in the next couple of months to the year, there's going to be some issues. There's going to be some basically a lot of going back and forth. She's struggling with her shadow self when it comes to love, and really kind of opening that heart chakra and that space. I feel like there is someone that she does care about, and they could be like a twin flame relationship with her. And Brandy is more of the masculine energy of the twin flame, the duality of the twin flame, and the other person would be more the feminine. But that doesn't mean this is a female, but I'm just saying everyone has a duality. But when it comes to twin flames, there are different, the divine masculine, the divine feminine. And so I feel like Brandy is more of the divine masculine, and that's just the way that her soul is. She's very much almost thinks like men do in many ways, and executes her actions in many ways like that. And but at the same time, she is a perfect balance of both worlds. But I do feel like there is also money coming to her from her hard work. So financially, I feel like she's had some ups and downs and some struggles and worries that her money would be running out, and that there would possibly be bankruptcy at some point. But I do feel like she's in a better place now, and there's now more money coming in and being generated. And so she feels a little bit more settled like this now. It gives her some kind of middle ground and a place to kind of feel more comfortable and in her power, knowing that she doesn't have to depend on other family members or, you know, struggle and go get a regular job, because she's a celebrity, you know, and she's not going to just settle for anything else than having a career in the entertainment industry. But I do feel like there is going to be still some issues, like I said, when it comes to her. I feel like she's been almost like a hermit in many ways. And I hate to use that kind of word because it can be misconstrued, but it's just more introverted and not so much promiscuous or being in a dating kind of world. So I feel like this, now she's coming back out into the dating world and trying to really find herself a soulmate, but this could be like a twin flame that I'm feeling very much connected to her already. So I feel like she's loosening up on that, and also a lot of the pain that she's holding, Spirit and the Ascended Masters are working with her on releasing a lot of these pains and these this shame that she kind of carries at the soul level. It feels like she feels guilty that past relationships maybe didn't work because of her. Maybe that she feels like she, you know, kind of what's coming through from Spirit is like maybe she feels like she just jumped the gun and made hasty decisions, or acted on impulse rather than just kind of letting things go and letting, you know, seeing where they would go next, etc., and being patient. So there's a lot of forgiving and healing, and I feel like she's worked on herself quite a bit over these last couple of years. But again, it's all going to be something where it's a continuous work. When you have experienced a lot of pain in your love life, this is not something that you just recover miraculously and overnight, you know, things get better. It's a continuous process, and we have to work on ourselves continuously to make sure that everything is okay, and that we are loving ourselves and respecting ourselves enough. And I feel like right now she's throwing herself more in work, and you know, taking care of her family still in many ways. But there are going to be two men that come into her life. Like I said, there could be one right now that's a twin flame, I do get, but there is another man, and she's going to have to decide, because when it comes to her love life, she's made some poor decisions in the past, but it hasn't been her fault, you know. She's been very trustworthy, but there are two men that I'm seeing for her, and basically there's two different choices. One is someone who, again, has a negative vibration. He seems to be someone who is just not caring or loving, and it's everything that she is not needing right now in her life. It's like the past replaying out and giving her another glimpse into the mistakes that she's made in the past and the karmic lessons that she has learned from these relationships. So very much in a sense, you know, she has this one man that will be in her life that she will have to decide. And I feel like he is, again, a negative vibration in many ways, and he has to do a lot of work on himself. He comes in almost with a lot of baggage, and his opinion of women and how he respects them is very much different than what she would be wanting or needing in her life. And the other man, which I feel like is a twin flame connection, is very much loving, compassionate, someone who cares about her. But again, we'll have to, you know, follow her well and see exactly where she is right now. Like I said, she could already be with this person, but the tabloids, you know, it's all going to depend. But I do feel like there is someone for her, and I do foresee her being happy ultimately, but she may just be in a relationship that is non-committed. You know what I mean? Like, she will be in a relationship and they will be like friends, and there's a lot of love, and you could call it a relationship, but it won't be like a long-term relationship. I feel like at some point she is going to be single for a long period of time still in her life, and it's something that she kind of fears. But for the most part, I think being that she is in a celebrity and you know, in that kind of position, she's just going to have to decide what she wants. It's kind of, you know, she's having to decide. That's what I get from Spirit. But otherwise, other than that, she's going to be absolutely fine. So I want to thank you so much for tuning in. If you did like this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. Also, be sure to follow me on Facebook and Instagram. And if you have not ordered my book, it is out now. It's called Starseed Footsteps, and you can order it on my website. If you want an autographed copy, that's www.raymondguzman.net/shop. If you want to get just a regular copy, you can get it on Amazon.com or Barnes & Noble, and it is in some of the bookstores. It's called Starseed Footsteps. And if you you'd like to set up a private reading, again, my website link will be listed below this description box, and you can just go there to set up a reading. Blessings and love and light. Have an amazing week.